Hey, welcome everybody once again to Market Update, and we are in one of the most classic, hottest places you can be, Rob
You
Hen.
certainly can. The architecture, this is not really changed all that much exterior-wise from the day it was built.
And the interesting thing is it started as just this very building that we're standing in, this very floor, and this little building that I call it has now become a monstrosity.
Yes, it has.
Of one of the hottest nightclubs in the Iowa Great Lakes.
Yep.
We are at Captians Getaway.
Yes.
So not to be confused with a couple other places where they talk about captains and pirates and whatever. This is the official Captains Getaway right here on Broadway Street. Originally, and we were just talking a little bit off camera, we called it, I know what it is, Shepherd's
Gate.
Shepherd's Gate Bookstore, and you remember it
as an arcade before then.
As an arcade before then. And the interesting thing was back in the day, I want to say 95, 96 was somewhere in that area where the Christians kind of invested in here. And you would come in and you get oysters on the half shell in the bucket with ice, and it was really, it was just so classy and so cool. And the property next door was just kind of a mess.
Yes, it was.
And lo and behold, what they did was they bought that property. And then they opened that up, and that was actually an outside bar. It was super cool.
One of the first ones in the area, I think, that size-wise anyways.
Yeah, and of course restrictions came along as bands got bigger, sound got louder.
More people came.
Yeah, more people, so they built a retractable roof to kind of help with that. So that was very unique at night. It really just kept progressing and progressing. So go forward again. They closed it off. So then we just had the the two areas. Now it went one more step further.
Big step.
Big step. They built mezzanine, and then you've got upstairs the total rooftop. Gorgeous views of West Lake Okoboji. They had to come in here into this spot about where I'm standing. Right to the left of me, folks, is a beam that had to be set in here. They had a bobcat come right through that front door, gutted that whole front area, brought a skid steer in here, and dug and got this beam in here. And there's one more back there too.
There's one by the front too.
Yeah,
I think
to support this whole thing. It's
crazy.
It's fantastic engineering.
But they maintained the old structure. That was the cool thing. So what is still here has always been here.
It's one of my favorite places to come on a weekend and just kind of sit, and I like the lower level myself personally. It's not bad to step up and catch a few of the bands. Some really hot acts have been here. Eli Young, GB Layton, the list goes on
Low
and on.
Cash, a lot of those guys. It's been really good bands.
They really put some fun stuff together here at Captain's Getaway. And let's not forget some of the food items. They have really kind of simplified the menu, and they make one of the best smash burgers you can get.
It's a fancy burger, and it's which I've known this place forever, but and I've heard of people coming down here and eating, but I've come down here in the last year, and it's always been good food, but it's just something you always forget about it. And then to come down and have that smash burger, holy cow! It's just the right amount.
Well, it couldn't be the fact that sometimes you forget about it because maybe libations have taken over. Is that a possibility?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a possibility with this kid too. Sometimes you forget the food part of it. So one of the most coolest places you can come, ladies and gentlemen. One of the highlights along the strip here at Broadway has become an amazing area to be. And Captain's Getaway is one of the institutions that originally kind of started a lot of this. So
yes, it certainly is.
All right, let's talk market update real quick. We're going to talk a little bit real quick about something real simple, Rob Hen, and that's agents' duty to the buyer and to the seller. Now, and I'll pose this to you because you've been a long-time realtor, 25 years. So if an agent, if a buyer makes an offer on a property, who can the agent tell?
Well, as of...
Only the seller, correct?
Right, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Who can the buyer tell?
Nobody.
The buyer can tell anybody they want.
Well, yeah, but if they want to, yes, they can.
If they want to, correct?
Yes.
If they want to. Like I said, this is kind of interesting lesson that I learned here, continuing education. So I'm kind of quizzing Rob just a little bit. So on the seller side, if the seller, the agent gets that offer, he can tell the seller, of course, obviously. Who can the seller tell?
The seller should kind of maybe keep it a little bit silent, I would imagine, of who maybe the actual person that has the offer on it. That name, yes.
Yes, you should.
Yes.
So the seller can tell anybody as well. But should you?
No.
And that's where the interesting thing comes, ladies and gentlemen. The old coffee shop days of talking to, a buddy here and there, you might catch a few people down the road that might reveal that. But Now social media.
Yes.
What do you recommend?
I would just stay away from it.
Yeah, I would not talk. It doesn't matter. Agent's duty on either side, and the one thing we also forget too, Rob, is that sometimes we can represent the buyer and the seller.
Yes, we do.
We owe both fiduciary responsibility. Everything's confidential till the day we die.
Yep.
That's how it goes.
Yep.
That's the oath you take. Or not oath, but that's what you take. You can
that's
lose
the
your
ethical
license.
thing to do, and the code of ethics that we stand by. That's what we do.
Right. So I didn't mean to scare everybody there, but it can be scary. So as a single agent for buyer and seller, that is what you have to do on both sides. So, but a lot of times it's separate. The agent owes that buyer or that seller that fiduciary responsibility to only reveal, maybe to other agents, what's going on. And that comes to the numbers and everything.
Yes.
As for the buyer and the seller, they can actually reveal that to anybody they want. Now, should you? It's just really one of them things that I think you should probably stay away from.
Yeah, you're right. You should.
Yeah, and the reason why is because once people talk, they might get in on that property too. I've had it happen to me at least 3 times in this area over the years. I've talked about a property that had been on the market for a couple months. Thought, man, this might be an interesting place. Guess what? Other people overheard that and they're like, well, it's been on there. Maybe I should buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Which
I
it's
lost
been
out.
there for a while, but once they are privy to it, which they knew about it, but they didn't really think about it. But then when somebody says something, it gets their gears going, and they want to do it.
Absolutely. So that's kind of the just behind the whole thing. Just a little quick education on your agent. No matter who you pick, we hope it's us, right?
Right.
That's our job as a real estate agent. Keep things privy to you and only to you, and that goes with us to the grave when it comes to numbers and figures and things that happen during the transaction. So there you go, a little education. Think about that when you hire your next agent. So,
that's right.
Hey, I tell you what, we got to run. Don't forget buyokoboji.com. Check us out.
And check us out on YouTube. Smash that like button and subscribe.
Absolutely. So a little TikTok, a little Instagram. Sometimes have a little fun with Snapchat. Stop by the office, see us sometimes. You got questions, we'd love to talk to you.
We're always here.
Absolutely. I'm Jimmy McLenz, and I'm all about you.
I'm Rob Hinn, and say something nice to somebody. Thanks.